Hello, this is Benitomo Kamimura from aps Academy. I would be happy if the past videos have helped you learn how to read out loud. Looking back, we've come a long way, and now we are almost halfway there. Keep up the good work. Anyway, let's get started. 日本におけるボランティア活動の現状。Heaven helps those who help themselves, said Benjamin Franklin. Although we are familiar with the message contained in this old saying, the fact remains that we have to help each other. And that is what hundreds of millions of people are doing, working as volunteers. In 2001, 28.9% of Japanese citizens volunteered their services. This number suggests that the idea of volunteering is becoming more attractive, because in 1983, a similar survey on that topic found that only 20% had some experience with volunteering. Even so, that percentage was lower than for the United States and the United Kingdom, where more than 50% of citizens had some experience of volunteering. Differences can be found within a country as well. The graph below shows original variations with respect to volunteer activities among 4 prefectures in Japan in 2001. As mentioned above, the overall rate of participation of Japanese in community service was 28.9%. In that year, Hyogo appeared to be typical of the nation in regard to that rate. The leading prefecture was Kagoshima, where more than 40% of the people had some volunteer experience. Yamanashi's rate was similar to that of Kagoshima, but preferences differed when it came to types of volunteer work. A little over 10% of the volunteer work focused on community safety, compared with 7.4% in Kagoshima. Those living in Tokyo seem to be less involved in volunteer work than the nation as a whole. In fact, the overall percentage was the second lowest of all the prefectures in Japan. Furthermore, the nation's capital had the lowest percentage in community development. It might be that people living in big cities see themselves as individuals and not as members of a community. Or perhaps they simply do not have time to think of their neighbors. The Japanese government has been making efforts to establish a system to promote volunteer activities. Instead, Japan was the driving force behind the United Nations making 2001 the International Year of the Volunteer. Although variations among and within countries will likely continue for quite some time, it is hoped that government support for this important activity will encourage more people to help their neighbors and their communities. どうだったでしょうか？これからも直読直解を目指して繰り返し音読を行っていってください。Never give up on your goal until you get it right. I hope to see you next time.